Hi everybody, John CASSANI here, Calusa Waterkeeper. Hope everybody's doing okay, coping with the pandemic. Has a lot of us housebound and doing the best we can. Just wanted to resume our video updates of regional events and conditions in area waters. We'll start off today with a report about cyanobacteria blooms. So we're seeing actually increased bloom activity on the Caloosahatchee, including the upper estuary. These are blooms that occur for a day or two and then seem to be gone. Not much toxin analysis associated with these so far. FDEP last sampled the Caloosahatchee River on March 10th and hasn't sampled in the last 30 days on Lake Okeechobee, so we're waiting to get some more updated information about some cyanobacteria blooms on the river and on the lake. We did report some activity on April 5th and again on April 7th. These were mostly microcystis and dolichospermum blooms. You'll see some of the imagery on our Facebook, on our website pages, and some microscopic images of what those organisms look like under the microscope. So we're going to keep an eye on the cyanobacteria activity in the river, and we'll keep you updated as conditions change. We're seeing water temperature increase in terms of looking ahead and what we might expect. Temperatures are increasing rapidly, and interestingly, we're seeing an increased trend in a pigment that the cyanobacteria produce called phycocyanins. And you can see from the chart that over the last 4 or 5 days, phycocyanin concentrations have increased significantly in the Caloosahatchee River. So that's perhaps an indicator that we might see a bloom, a larger bloom here in the near future, unfortunately. And when you add the first flush of seasonal rains to this mix of higher water temperature and increased phycocyanin production, it probably means that we're not going to see conditions improve in the future. Also want to report that salinity is getting very high in the Caloosahatchee estuary. This is important for reestablishing the tape grass that we've been working on. Other groups have been working on as well for years. We need a certain salinity level that won't harm the tape grass restoration, but unfortunately we're seeing it rise pretty quickly. The Corps just announced as a result of the drought conditions that flows from the lake will be reduced to the minimum flow level. The minimum flow level for the Caloosahatchee estuary is the threshold for significant harm for that resource. So we're getting into some unfavorable conditions for the water resources in the region in terms of salinity as a result of the drought conditions. The South Florida Water Management District will be talking about the reduced flow from the lake. The South Florida Water Management District makes recommendations to the Corps as to how much water to release to maintain that important salinity envelope for the estuary. They'll be talking about it at this Thursday's governing board meeting. So we understand that the regional conditions are constraining at this point in time due to the drought conditions. But we want to see some shared adversity and some equity in terms of applying policy so that water users, including the environment, get a fair shake. So we don't want to see the Caloosahatchee damaged excessively while other consumptive users aren't being curtailed at all. So if you can send that message to the governing board this coming Thursday, we'd appreciate you doing that. You can find the information on the governing board meeting on their website, and you can contact perhaps the chairman of their board, Chauncey Goss, and relay your concerns about that issue. There's been some sewage spills lately, so be on the lookout. Once a month we post our fecal bacteria counts. We've had some issues with Manuel's Branch. Billy's Creek is an ongoing problem, and there's been a pretty big spill in the Cape, but most of that was recovered. So keep an eye on our website for some more information on that. And please, if you're out there, if you see an illicit discharge or a fish kill or an algae bloom in particular, we'd like to know about it. And you can contact me at info@calusawaterkeeper.org with your information. So keep track of the date and the location so we can accurately understand where these conditions are occurring. Unfortunately, the federal government has rolled back enforcement of environmental regulations nationwide. We think that's a big problem. Doing it at this time during the pandemic even makes it worse. So we're particularly interested in enforcement actions that should be occurring at this time that perhaps aren't. So if you can help us with information on that, we would appreciate that. So that's the update for now. We'll be coming back to you in another week to 10 days. Thanks for tuning in, and stay safe out there. Thank you.